Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European Indices for the 8th of May, and starting with the DAX here, pretty much the same as the CAC as well, the French market. We're looking at a top being in play here, so wave 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave 3 here, and wave 4 can pull back 38.2%, so if we take wave 2 low here up to wave 3 here, we would be looking at the 38.2%, which is here, and all the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So as a starting point, we can, it's a bit wide, but it's a start. We can go from here to here. That would be our aim at this particular point to, at this stage, to expect the market to come back down to this point here. So if I go to the 4-hour chart, we can pick up this space here. So yes, this is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree down here, and the 38.2% a little bit higher than that. So the move that we've got coming down through here so far, we could count it as an A and a B and a C, or we could also count it as wave 1 and 2 and 3 here. So wave 3 would come down a bit further, wave 4 and wave 5 coming down here. So that's what I don't know, but if we do get the 5 waves here, then what we'll get is some type of correction across the 12,000 as wave B, and then we'll see wave C move down through here, and that would be the wave 4 at that stage there. So let's just go into the hourly chart and just check that out a little bit more here. So I'm going to call the top in here as wave 3 top, as this high here. It didn't finish off very nicely, but it would be the right thing to do, because if it was an expanded flat correction, which I thought it may be with a A wave and a B wave and a C wave here, but after this has moved down through here, that's definitely not the case. So this structure just hasn't finished off properly when it hit that news of what's his name, Trump, starting arguments again. So from here we could look at it as an A wave here and a B wave here, and then 5 waves for the C wave down here, or wave 3 here. Probably wave 3, but I need to point out both of them. So so it's possible that it can just be an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here, and we could just move straight up from that point. But we'll need to gather evidence for that. But in the meantime here, we've got 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. So we still got to come down a little bit. I'll just move that over the way there. We'll put wave 3 there, but it could also be wave C. But so we need these little. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this needs to finish off here a bit. And then when this wave 4 comes in here, this is where this wave 4 can come back to here as well. So I suppose we could go long if 12,200 became the support at that point. Okay, then we would be flipping to the upside at that point. But while that's not the case, we need to be looking to the downside, and the downside we'll be looking at 12,000 here. So we can expect the market to, to vibrate across this level here, and in that case here we would see wave 3, 4, and 5 of 3, and then ABC for wave 4. This wave 4 will pull back to this wave 4 here of 1 lesser degree, or 38.2% retracement, and then we would see this move down here, probably down to 11.8 here, where we would see a nice bounce here. The point here though is that if we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then we can be looking at an ABC pattern over here. If I can just borrow these here for a moment. ABC pattern back to here to the 50-60%. So if we just grab this top here down to the 11,800, that would leave us in that space here for this. It may not even come back that far. It may only come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree once again as well, which is quite normal for it to do. But it does give us it just gives us a bit of a guide stick here for this here. So an 8, because we get 5, if we get 5 waves down, if we still need to complete that, if we get 5 waves down, then we can be certain that we're going to be getting a corrective move here and then another 5 waves down. And then that would take us down further at that point. So where do we trade long here, short and long here? So this is just finishing off here, so I wouldn't really worry about this. You're only going to, it's only going to trap your attention in this space here. But once this is finished here, if I can work it out for you, then we can trade this leg down here. This leg here should be roughly the same length as this. It's not going to gap down, and it probably won't be as fast, but it should be roughly the same. So we could look to build a position in above the 12,000 if I can work out that it's a corrective pattern, and then we can also look to add under the 11,500 and get down to the 11.8 at that point. And then we'll just watch the B wave move up, and then we'll look to short that down. That would be so we look for 2 short trades, 4 to 5. I'm not really interested in this. It may be complicated, it may be really simple, it may be 5 waves, 3 waves and 5 waves. If that's the case, go for it, but otherwise we'll look for the short trade down here, because this length, B wave coming down here, should give us much the same length as this move here. We do have this gap in the market here, so we'll be conscious of that in any move to the upside. So just to recap, if 12,200 becomes the support, if it just bounces off 12,000 and gets support back up on 12,200 there, then I've made a mistake. Then you can throw tomatoes at me, but at that point we can go long from that point. Okay, but wave 4 should stay under that. Yeah, we should hit down, and if we do have those 5 waves at that point, then we know that we're going to be into a larger move down. This is the same for, I'll use the French market because it's pretty much the same. So once again, an A wave, a B wave and a C wave down here, so down towards the 5,200 area through here, and I'll just cut through to the hourly chart to pick that up here. We are currently short in this market. We short here. We've taken part profit on the 5,500 area through here, and then the market's dropped here. So, you could have said, why did you take profit there for? Well, because we've thought that we could also have an A wave and a B wave and a C wave. Maybe I said if it found support on 555, it doesn't matter. If you're still in short, fantastic. If you've taken part profit, fine. Here we've got from wave 4 to wave 5. Here we're looking for 5 waves, 1 and 2. So we've got, in this one, we've got 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So we've still got a little bit more downside to come here as well. So if you're looking to take profit again, then down here on this low at 5.3, we'll definitely get a bounce at 5.3 here. Sometimes when I'm shorting myself is that I don't wait for 5.3, so I start to look at 5.30 here. $5.30 is where I start scaling out, and then 5.20 in here. 330. I'd like to, in fact, I take it just before that. I take it at because that's group 1 there again of sub level. I normally would take it at the micro level, which would be the next little 3 up, 1, 2, 3 there. Okay, so all the 3s there, because that's where the orders will start. The short covering will start coming in at that point. Most of the time, it gets quite bouncy between all these group 1 within here. Sometimes now that I've said it gets bouncy through there, it will just cut through like butter, but most of the time it will be bouncy through there. So yeah, taking profit at number 3s is good. So we should see some sort of bounce. Will it come back up to the 50%? I don't know. All we can do is just track 5 waves, 3 waves and 5 waves if it's simple like that, and then we'll come down again. So we'll look to short again. There's lots of different ways we can approach these short positions, but we'll definitely be looking for short positions. If we get this 5, well, in this case we've got 5 waves down here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, or could probably Right, I can see what I've done. I've made a mistake here, so sorry about that. So I'll just put that there for this one. I was just wondering if, I mean, I thought we had an A and a B and a C wave here. It looks like that, but it could also be counted. I'll have to check it out as wave 1 here, back for wave 2 here, down for wave 1, back for 2, down for 3, back for 4, and down for 5. So it may get a little bit rough down here, but still, it's not going to go much further than this here, and it'll be pretty much in line with the DAX. So I'll just save that, and I'll double check that move there. And the UK market, well, actually I'll go to the Italian market and come back to the UK market because it's a little bit different. So let me just get this in a little bit here. This is, so in this case here, we haven't been counting 5 waves down. We've been counting it down as an A wave and a B wave here, rather large wave 2 here. But what we can see here now is that we've got, okay, I'll have to double check this one now too. But in a nutshell, wave 1 and wave 2 here, and we've got wave 3 here, so we're expecting that. So I'll just shape these up a little bit. So that's wave 4 here, and going down for wave 5 here. So at 21, so we've also taken profit here as well. Can't remember exactly what I said there, if that should be support or not, but it doesn't matter. So we could also look to be taking profit on the 21 here. We're going to get a bounce here. So even if I'm wrong here, what will happen here if I'm wrong? If there's an extra, if I have to move, which I'll have to double check this, wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and that will open this up here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 just for the third wave here. So I'll need to double check that. But what will happen anyway, if that's right, what will happen, we'll come down here, bounce off here, bounce here, bounce here, and then we'll work back up from that point there, if that's the other case. So we're not missing out on much. If you're taking money off the table at 21 here, you won't be missing much because it'll only be just another spike down after that. The other point here too is that we could be looking at this, I don't want to copy that, I want to move that. We could be looking at this as 5 waves down here too. So I'll just put that there for the time being. And of course the UK market. So yeah, so I want to talk about this a little bit. So from the top here, we'd counted 5 waves down here, which is cool, no worries. And then we had a little ABC pattern here, which could also be over here. But in retrospect, I had a look at this, and on the cash market, it looks better as 1 and 2 and 3 here, and 4 here and 5 here for the third wave, and the fourth wave here and the fifth wave here. So in this case, we've already got 5 waves down. This leg down here is not finished. We've got 1 and 2 and 3 here, so this is 4 and 5. So we're still coming down to 72. 72 is an important number here, so we'll expect to see the market sort of stick to that for a while or sharply bounce from it. But this counts down nicely as 1 and 2 here, and then 3 here and 4 here, and doesn't overlap up here with wave 1. 4 and 1 don't overlap. So it's quite a nice count. But when I look at the cash market, the physical market, if I can squash all this in here, I'll just start here. So this is the top here at 75, at 7,500 area through here. So I can see that I can count 5 waves down to this point here, and then that leaves us with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to here. And then I've got this scenario. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so that's okay. I can see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we could look at this as wave 1 here, and wave 2 here, and wave 3 here. That means we'd need to look at this as 4 and 5 here, finishing here. Otherwise, we're just left with 3 here. So the cash market is looking a little bit different. So if I can take that down to there, and then back up into this point. So at that point there, then we have overlapping wave structure through here. So it doesn't, the cash market is counting completely different to the other market. and we have a nice move down here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we have 5 waves here. So it's not really counting it's counting differently here. So I think that what we may need to do here is, if we looked at this as wave 1 here, and this is wave 2 here, just another way to look at it, and then we would need to have a look at this as being a smaller wave 1 here, and a smaller wave 2 here, so to speak, and then this being the third wave down, because otherwise this count that I've got here, doesn't work with this one over here. I can't call this the third wave here because it's the smallest, and we've got overlapping wave structures here. So I've got a bit of a dilemma here with this market. At this stage here, what I can say is that this will be wave 1 and 2 in here, and 3 in here, and 4 in here, and 5 in here. So then whatever's going to happen, we're going to be coming back up and testing here the supply level at 3 here. So I mean, technically we should get a rally from roughly there somewhere down, wherever that is here. I'll just take it a tad lower here. So it can pull back all the way up into that space there. So we'll just have to keep an eye on this one here. Just let me see if there's any other way I can look at this. I mean, we could look at it as a series of 1s and 2s down, but that would take us too far down. So let's just see. What we can short it if this moves, once this completes here as 5 waves here, then any move up here is a corrective move, then we can start to look to short it. So I just need to see some pattern there that I can work with. It's just not there yet, and shorting into 72 is not really the done thing. So let's just wait on this one here for the time being. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.